Good afternoon. This, a special meeting of the Baltimore City Council, is now called to order. Please turn off all cell phones and put them on vibrate. Please join me in a moment of silence. If everyone would please stand for the moment of silence and then remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The clerk will call the roll of the members.
President Young, Cohen, Scott, Dorsey, Henry, Schleifer, Middleton, Pinkett, Burnett, Bullock, Reisinger, Costello, Stokes, Snead, Clark. Mr. President, we have a quorum.
We will now proceed with the adoption of the journal.
Mr. President, the journal of proceedings from the June 5th City Council meeting is on the council members' desks.
Is there a motion to approve the journal? Motion by Councilman Scott, second by Councilman Costello. All those in favor of adopting the journal say aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion carried. The journal is adopted. Bills will be introduced.
City Council Bill 17-0083, zoning use regulations gas stations for the purpose of providing that gas stations in the C2 and C3 zoning districts require conditional use approval by ordinance of the mayor and city council. Sponsors Dorsey, President Young, Cohen, Middleton, Scott, Pinkett, Stokes, Burnett, Snead, Bullock, Clark.
Chair recognizes Councilman Dorsey.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. This bill changes certain zonings from allowing gas stations to locate from the typical practice of conditional by board to conditional by ordinance, a bit of a more rigorous process of allowing those of us who are closest to the ground in our communities to have some influence over whether or not certain types of businesses that have a tendency to be particularly deleterious to the quality of life along commercial corridors, particularly around residential neighborhoods, have a little more of a say in whether or not they can come there by requiring a council ordinance to allow them to come there. Gas stations, once they're in, they can be pretty difficult to get rid of, and in the case of really putting strain on other existing gas stations, have the potential to put others out of business, leaving them as essentially brownfield sites that would take a lot of money to remediate and be redeveloped into other things that could easily lead to a kind of a snaggletooth Main Street district where old gas stations might get put out of business. And for that reason, I think that it makes sense for us to take this extra level of precaution in allowing them to be there in the first place. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Please note Councilman Henry, Councilman Schleifer as our co-sponsors. This has been assigned to the Land Use and Transportation Committee.
City Council Bill 17-0084, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Baltimore City Public Schools, $3 million. For the purpose of providing a Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation in the amount of $3 million to the Baltimore City Public Schools, Service 352, to provide funding for additional operating expenses and providing for a special effective date. Sponsored City Council President on behalf of the administration.
This has been assigned to the Budget and Appropriation Committee.
City Council Bill 17-0085, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Health Department, $600,000 for the purpose of providing a Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation in the amount of $600,000 to the Health Department, Service 316, to provide additional funding for additional operating expenses and providing for a special effective date. Sponsored City Council President on behalf of the administration.
This has been assigned to the Budget and Appropriation Committee.
City Council Bill 17-0086, General Fund Operating Appropriation transfer in the aggregate amount of $3,830,000 from various agency services to the Health Department and MR educational grants for the purpose of transferring a general fund operating appropriation and the aggregate amount of $3,830,000 from various agency services to the Health Department and the aggregate amount of $900,000 and to MR educational grants in the aggregate amount of $2,930,000 and providing for a special effective date. Sponsored City Council President on behalf of the administration.
This has been assigned to the Budget and Appropriation Committee. Resolutions introduced.
City Council Resolution 17-0028R, Informational Hearing, Watershed Protection and Restoration Efforts, for the purpose of calling on representatives from the Department of Public Works to appear before the City Council to discuss the annual MS4 report and the city's progress towards improving the health of Baltimore's waterways. Sponsors Pinkett, President Young, Cohen, Middleton, Stokes, Dorsey, Burnett, Snead, Henry, Clark, Reisinger, Scott, Bullock.
Please note Councilman Schleifer as a co-sponsor, Councilman Costello as a co-sponsor. Any more co-sponsors? Okay, Chair recognizes Councilman Pinkett.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilman Pinkett.
You sure?
I had to scratch my eyebrow.
Improving the health of all 5 of the city's watersheds and the Chesapeake Bay is beneficial to all city residents. The Department of Public Works is currently under a consent decree to implement measures to achieve that goal. This resolution simply calls for DPW to come before us to give an update on those efforts. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Vice Chairman. I'm trying to get in the habit of calling the chairmans, the vice chairman, vice chairman. So you'll start hearing it more and more. This has been assigned to the Judiciary and Legislative Investigation Committee. You can find the consent calendar in Section A at the back of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar? So moved by Councilman Scott, second by Councilman Costello. All those in favor of approving the consent calendar say aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion carried and this calendar is approved. We will now move the bills on second reading. Budget and Appropriation Committee.
City Council Bill 17-0066, Annual Property Tax, Fiscal Year 2018, for the purpose of providing a tax for the use of the Mayor and City Council of Baltimore for the period July 1, 2017 through June 30, 2018, providing for estimated billing pursuant to state law, and setting the semi-annual payment service charge for that period.
Chair recognizes Chairman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. Budget and Appropriations Committee held a hearing on this bill on June 7th. I'd like to move the bill favorably.
Second by Vice Chairman Pinkett. All those in favor of approving this bill say aye. All opposed, nay. The motion to approve this bill moves to third reader.
City Council Bill 17-0082, Operating Budget for the Baltimore City Public School Commissioner for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2018, for the purpose of approving the budget estimated to be needed for the Baltimore City Board of School Commissioners for operating programs during fiscal 2018, providing for certification of the approved budget to the State Superintendent of Schools, and providing for a special effective date.
Chair recognizes Chairman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Budget and Appropriations Committee held a hearing on this bill on June 7th. At this time, I move the bill favorably.
Second by Vice Chairman Pinkett. All those in favor of approving this bill say aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion to approve this bill moves to third reader. Housing and Urban Affairs Committee.
City Council Bill 17-0054, Franchise Bridgeway over Center Street, for the purpose of granting a franchise to MD 601 North Calvert LLC for the use and maintain an existing elevated bridgeway that is located above and across Center Street, approximately 120 feet east of Calvert Street, subject to certain terms, conditions, and reservations, and providing for a special effective date.
Chair recognizes Chairman Bullock.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. The committee met on May 25th to consider the 2 bills to extend the franchises at the Sun Building on Calvert Street. We will be moving the bills favorable with amendments. The amendments are on your desks.
Second by Councilman Costello. All those in favor of approving the amendment say aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion to approve bill is amended. Chair recognizes Chairman Bullock.
I move the bill favorable as amended.
Second by Councilman Costello. All those in favor of approving this bill say aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion to approve this bill moves to third reader.
City Council Bill 17-0055, Franchise Parking Lot with a chain link fence and a portion of the north side of the bed of Bath Street between Calvert Street and Guilford Avenue, for the purpose of granting a franchise to MD North Calvert Street LLC to use and maintain an existing parking lot located in the portion of the north side of the bed of Bath Street between Calvert Street and Guilford Avenue, where this parking lot adjoins the property of MD North Calvert Street LLC, and to use and maintain an existing chain link fence with a gate along the eastern, southern, and western boundaries of the parking lot, subject to certain terms, conditions, and reservations, and providing for a special effective date.
Chair recognizes Chairman Bullock.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I move the amendments favorable.
Any amendments? No amendments to the bill?
There are amendments.
Okay.
On the desk.
Second by Councilman Costello. All those in favor of approving this bill say aye. All opposed, nay. This bill moves to third reader.
That's
What happened?
Yeah.
Wasn't there amendments on this bill? You moved amendments?
Yes.
Okay, second by Councilman Costello. All in favor of approving the amendment say aye. All opposed, nay. The motion to approve the bill is amended. Chair recognizes Chairman Bullock.
I move the bill favorable.
Second by Councilman Costello. All those in favor of approving this bill say aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion to approve this bill moves to third reader. Land use and transportation.
City Council Bill 17-0049, Plant Unit Development Designation Overlook at Roland Park, for the purpose of approving the application of Blue Ocean Realty, contract purchaser of certain property located at Ward 27, Section 15, Block 4020E, Lot 021, to have the property designated a residential plant unit development, and approving development plans submitted by the applicant.
Chair recognizes Chairman Reisinger.
Mr. President, This was a very long hearing. It lasted 3.5 hours. It was a marathon. It was very well attended by both sides, pros and cons. I just want for the general public to understand that during the hearing, both community leaders supported the bill. There was concessions made by the developer. The economic impact from this development, you're looking at over 300 construction jobs. And once this development's built out, you're looking at about over $1 million in taxes. So, Mr. President, I move the finding of facts.
Second by Councilman Schleifer. All those in favor of approving the finding of facts say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Please note that Councilwoman Clark abstained. The motion to approve the finding of facts are adopted. Chair recognizes Chairman Reisinger.
Mr. President, there's amendments to this bill that were on my colleague's desk. I move the amendments.
Second by Councilman Schleifer. All those in favor of approving the amendment say aye. All those opposed, nay. Please note that Councilman Clark abstains. The motion to approve this bill is amended. Chair recognizes Chairman Reisinger.
Mr. President, I move the bill favorable as amended.
Second by Councilman Schleifer. All those in favor of approving this bill say aye. Those opposed, nay. Please note that Councilwoman Clark abstained. The motion to approve this bill moves to third reader. Public Safety Committee.
City Council Bill 17-0063, Citizens Advisory Commission for Public Safety, for the purpose of establishing the Baltimore City Citizens Advisory Commission for Public Safety, providing for the
Call to order, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
providing for the Commission's composition, terms of office, meetings, quorum, officers, and rules of procedures, requiring the Commission, in cooperation with the Baltimore City Police Department, to develop annually a community interaction recommendations report, specifying the elements of the report and generally relating to the Baltimore City Citizens Advisory Commission for Public Safety.
Chair recognizes Chairman Scott. Is he on? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, members of the council, the Public Safety Committee held a hearing on this bill last Tuesday. It was actually the fastest hearing that the Public Safety Committee has ever had because this is a bill that no one can disagree with. We know that this is a small but important step for the city of Baltimore so that we can move to a place where we truly have community policing in our city, because we cannot have community policing without the inclusion of the community. So there are amendments. First, we have two sets of amendments. First, there are committee amendments on my colleagues' desks. I will first move those committee amendments.
Chairman Dorsey. All in favor of approving the amendment say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The motion to approve the bill is amended. Chair recognizes Councilman Scott.
Mr. President, there are also floor amendments that are being distributed to my colleagues right now. And while we're doing that, I just want to point out again that this group will be made up of citizens from across the city, from all walks of life, that will help make recommendations to the police department about how we're going to improve our community policing strategy and how we're going to improve interactions with all groups in the city of Baltimore so that we can have citizens at the table. Also at the table will be the Fraternal Order of Police and the Vanguard Justice Society, so that everyone that is impacted by policing can be at the table to make decisions on what we should be doing. And with that, Mr. President, I would like to move these floor amendments.
Second by Vice Chairman Dorsey. All those in favor of approving these amendments say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The motion is approved. The bill is amended. Chair recognizes Chairman Scott.
Mr. President, I move the bill favorable as amended.
Second by Vice Chairman Dorsey. All those in favor of approving this bill say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. This motion to approve this bill moves to third reader. Third reader for final passage.
City Council Bill 17-0040, City Streets, closing beds of two 10-foot alleys bounded by West 27th Street, Fox Street, West 28th Street, and Remington Avenue, for the purpose of condemning and closing the beds of two 10-foot alleys bounded by West 27th Street, Fox Street, West 28th Street, and Remington Avenue, as shown on Plat 70A3021A in the Office Department of Transportation, providing for a special effective date. President Young, Cohen, Scott, Dorsey, Henry, Schleifer, Middleton, Pinkett, Burnett, Bullock, Ricer, and Costello, Stokes, Snead, Clark.
This bill is approved.
City
I'm trying
Council
to get the councilwoman's attention. Do you want to say something on this bill? After he reads it. Okay.
City Council Bill 17-0048, Labor and Employment Displaced Service Workers Protection, for the purpose of requiring successor entities taking over certain terminated service contracts to retain employees who have worked on the previous contract under certain conditions, requiring the disclosure of information when service contracts are terminated in certain circumstances, prohibiting retaliation against workers for seeking assistance from or cooperating with the Wage Commission, empowering the Wage Commission to issue subpoenas and administer oaths, defining certain terms, establishing certain penalties, and generally relating to the protection of displaced Police Service workers. President Young, Cohen Scott, Dorsey, Henry, Schleifer, Middleton, Pinkett, Burnett, Bullock, Rice, Aaron, Costello, Stokes, Snead, Clark.
This bill is approved. Chair recognizes Chairman Snead. I know she worked very hard on this.
Thank you, Council President. Yes, I'm so excited, along with our supporters that are here. It will benefit so many people right here in City Hall and outside of City Hall. Thank you for my colleagues for helping us get this passed, and as my first piece of legislation, yay, I'm happy to say it passed.
Okay.
City Council Bill 17-0065, ordinance estimates for fiscal year ending June 30, 2018, for the purpose of providing the appropriations estimated to be needed by each agency of the City of Baltimore for operating programs and capital projects during the fiscal 2018 year.
Chair recognizes Chairman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to invoke City Council Rule 15-10 to reconsider the amendments to Bill 17-0065 adopted in gross at the June 5th City Council meeting.
Second by Vice Chairman Pinkett. All those in favor of reconsideration, the amendment to Bill 17-0065, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The motion approved. Please proceed with the motion on the amendments. Chair recognizes Councilman Costello.
Mr. President, I move the committee amendments.
The motion fails due to lack of a second.
Mr. President, I move the bill favorably.
All those, second by Vice Chairman Pinkett. All those in favor of moving this bill, say aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion is approved. This bill is on third reader.
Mr. President, I move to invoke Council Rule 12-1 to move City Council Bill 17-0065 to third reader at the same meeting today.
Second by Vice Chairman Pinkett.
President Young?
Yes.
President Young, yes. Councilman Dorsey? President Young, Cohen Scott, Dorsey, Henry, Schleifer, Middleton, Pinkett, Burnett, Bullock, Rice, Aaron, Costello, Stokes, Snead, Clark.
The ayes have it. The motion carries, and Council Bill 17-0065 is on third reader. Third reader requiring invocation of Rule 12-1 for same-day advancement.
City Council Bill 17-0065, ordinance to estimates for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2018, for the purpose of providing the appropriations estimated to be needed by each agency of the City of Baltimore for operating programs and capital projects during the fiscal 2018 year. President Young, Cohen Scott, Dorsey, Henry, Schleifer, Middleton, Pinkett, Burnett, Bullock, Rice, Aaron, Costello, Stokes, Snead, Clark.
This bill is approved. Committee announcements. Committee announcements. Chair recognizes Chairman Bullock.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to suspend Rules 10-2 and 10-3 to announce a hearing.
Second by Councilwoman Clark. All those in favor of suspending rules and announce a hearing, say aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion carried. Chair recognizes Chairman Bullock.
On Thursday, June 29th at 2 p.m., the Housing and Urban Affairs Committee will be hearing the repeal of the Rosemont Urban Renewal Area and Plan here in Council Chambers.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Chairman Costello.
A few more, sorry.
Oh, you got some more?
Yes. I move to suspend Rules 10-2 and 10-3 to announce another hearing.
Second by Councilwoman Clark. All those in favor of suspending rules and announce a hearing, say aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion carried. Chair recognizes Chairman Bullock.
All right. On Thursday, June 29th at 2:05 p.m., the Housing and Urban Affairs Committee will be hearing the Urban Renewal Coldstream Homestead Montebello Amendment here in Council Chambers. Also, on June 29th at 2:10 p.m., the Housing and Urban Affairs Committee will be hearing Bill 17-0051, which is the City Streets closing of East Fairmount Avenue and a portion of Asquith Street. Also on Thursday, June 29th at 2:15 p.m., the Housing and Urban Affairs Committee will be hearing Bill 17-0052, City Streets opening East Fairmount Avenue and a portion of Asquith Street. And on Thursday, July 27th at 2 p.m. in Council Chambers, the Housing and Urban Affairs Committee will be holding an informational hearing on the Baltimore Renaissance. That's it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Chairman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to suspend Rules 10-2 and 10-3 to announce a hearing.
Second by Council Vice Chair Pinkett. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, nay. Chair recognizes Chairman Costello.
Mr. President, Budget and Appropriations Committee will hold a hearing today, Monday, June 12th at 3 p.m. on Council Bill 17-0084, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Baltimore City Public Schools in the amount of $3 million. Mr. President, I move to suspend Rules 10-2 and 10-3.
Second by Vice Chairman Pinkett. All those in favor of suspend rules and announce the hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The motion carried. Chair recognizes Councilman Costello.
Mr. President, Budget and Appropriations Committee will hold a hearing today at Monday, June 12th at 3 p.m. on Council Bill 17-0085, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation of the Health Department in the amount of $600,000. Mr. President, I move to suspend rules 10.2 and 10.3.
Second by Vice Chairman Pinkett. All those in favor of suspending rules and announce the hearing, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The motion carried. Chair recognizes Chairman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. Budget and Appropriations Committee will hold a hearing today on Monday, June 12th at 3 p.m. on Council Bill 17-0086, General Fund Operating Appropriation Transfer in the aggregate amount of $3,830,000 from various agency services to the Health Department and to mayoralty-related educational grants. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Committee announcement. Chair recognizes Vice President Middleton.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you, Mr. President. The Taxation, Finance, and Economic Development Committee will hear City Council Bill 17-0053 Thursday, July 6th, 2017 at 10 a.m. here in Council Chambers. And it's, again, it's Bill 17-0053, the sale of property, former beds of East Fairmont Avenue and a portion of Asquith Street.
Thank you. Committee announcement. Regular announcements. No regular announcement. Chair recognizes Vice President Sharon Green Middleton. Got the whole name that time.
A council meeting will be Monday, June 12th at 5 p.m.
Thank you. There have been no further business. This concludes the 13th meeting of the 72nd term of the Baltimore City Council.